Hi, I'm Robin, and in today's video, I'm participating in the Spook-tac-ular DIY challenge hosted by Kate and Crafty Leamy. I'll mention them in the description box below and also the playlist. For my first DIY, I cut out a pattern of a cat with my scroll saw, and then I had this whole bowl full of buttons. And I thought, what a great idea to glue all of the buttons to the cat piece. So that's what I did. I had all of these beautiful different designs that I got at Dollarama. And they just had some random buttons in bags. And I thought it would go really cute with this project. And here's how it's turning out so far. I'm really liking it. Now the only thing with buttons is because of their different shapes and sizes, you have to find the right one to fit in the right spot so that there's no gaps. But it's really easy to figure out, especially if you stand it up like I did on an easel. Not only did I think it would complement my decor, but I could also use it for Halloween, or, I could give it away if I wanted to. It makes a nice decor piece. Now, I thought about using a googly eye for the eye, but I found this button that actually really looked like an eye, so I used that instead. And you just want to continue on gluing all the buttons onto the shape. There were some hot glue strands that I had to pull away because I didn't want them on the piece. And I just kept going, placing each button in a spot until I was finished. Once I was done placing all the buttons, I thought my little cat needed a collar, and I found this little bell and glued it on. And here's how my cat turned out. I think it looks awesome. Perfect for Halloween. Not only is it super cute, but it's also spooky. For my next DIY, I took some paper that kind of looked like newspaper, and using my paper cutter, I cut it into a square. Then I added it to the inside of a canvas so it would look like there was a frame all around it. Once I did that, I had this drink carrier that I cut up to look like a skull. I really liked how it was looking, so I took another piece of that cardboard and cut it up to make a mouth. Now, it wasn't quite looking like a mouth at first. I thought it needed something, so then I decided to cut it a little. So I got it to this shape. And once I did that, I took a little piece of black felt and I glued that on the inside to look like the mouth opening. I also decided to put some felt on the back of the skull as well, to have a little shadow look in the back of it. So using some hot glue, I just added it on. I just glued all around the outside, and then I pulled down the felt and pushed that down onto the back of the skull. I decided to paint the skull white. And once that was done, I took my X-Acto knife and I cut 2 little holes in the back where the eye should be. because one of my friends, What If I Could John C., gave me this idea that I should be putting LED lights in it so that the eyes would glow. Now the LED lights that I had were kind of big, so I had to actually cut them down with my scroll saw. But here's how they look so far. There was these two big pieces sticking out the back, and I wanted it to fit flush against the canvas, so I cut out with my X-Acto knife 2 semicircles. And after I did that, I made these little openings that I could stick the little lights through, and my skull would be flat against the back of the canvas. And that worked out really well. Here he is so far. Next, I decided to paint all of the staples of the canvas black. So I did that, and then after I took antique wax and I just tried to dirty up the skull a little bit just so it wasn't so white. Next, I took some black paint and I outlined all around the eyes just to make them pop. So I got this hanger and it had these little teeth in it. So I decided to cut 2 out and I painted them white. Those teeth look like fangs, and I decided to make it into a cat's skull. That little hanger made the cutest little cat fangs. And I just added hot glue and I made sure to hold it in place until the glue set. Next, I took some lace curtain and black paint and I painted all of the curtain black. First I used a paintbrush, then I used my fingers. I was trying to get every inch of it black. And then I let them dry. I added hot glue to the canvas and then I placed on my little curtain because I wanted it to have like a lacy veil. And it was working out great. You just want to make sure that all of the lace is glued down. And I even put some glue on the back and pushed down on the lace there as well. And here's how it looks like with both sides on. It's really creepy. I had these roses and I decided to paint them black, so I just used black paint and my fingers. I find I can squish in the paint into all the nooks and crannies if I use my fingers rather than a paintbrush. After I had done quite a few and painted the backs of the roses white, I used hot glue and glued them in to the bottom of the little canvas because I wanted the roses all to be around the bottom underneath the cat's face. And here's how it's looking so far. It's really creepy. I thought it needed a little something else, and I had these other roses, and one of my friends, Potr, suggested that I add black accents to the roses just by using whatever paint was left on my hands and rubbing it all around the rose. So that's what I did. And then once that was done, we had decided to put one of the roses on the very top of the piece and the other one in the middle of the piece. And I did this on a live stream, and I'll link that in the description box below if you want to watch it. It was really fun, and I had a lot of input from the audience on this project. After everything was glued into place and firmly secure, someone suggested that I put little gems on the roses, and I found these little teardrop shaped gems that I could put on the roses to look like dew. You know, when you see a rose and it's got little droplets on it. The next day I went to Dollarama and I found these gems, and I added them on to look like blood dripping down the roses and making my evil skeleton cat look even more spookier in this spooktacular collaboration. We thought it would be a catastrophe, but it was simply awesome. I love how it turned out. It looks so Day of the Dead-ish. It really gives that spooky vibe for Halloween. These crazy Halloween decorations that I pulled off with just some random stuff lying around are so cool. With nothing more than buttons, paint, roses, and even a sprinkle of gems, the result is a spooky symphony of DIY decorations that turned out perfectly bewitching. These meowsterpieces transform ordinary materials into haunting charm, proving that even in the darkest of alleys, a cat's curiosity can illuminate the way to spine-tingling delight. If you want to see how I made this wooden black cat, click on the next video.